Hey guys, Dan here with Pain Free You. Today I want to talk about digestive issues. And there are a number of folks that watch me who have things like IBS. And they are very, very restrictive in what they can do in their life because these IBS attacks, if you will call it that, can happen at any point. And that has social consequences if you're losing your bowels in the middle of public. So I understand completely the fear that that must bring. So I believe these digestive issues really are a vicious cycle. And the reason I believe that is I've been doing a lot of research into the fight or flight, the stress response, how the body responds physiologically. And as you start to look at these things, Dr. Bruce Lipton talks about this. He suggests that when we have a true danger, like you are out in the woods, like back here, if a bear were to charge at me, my body's fight and flight response would literally snap into action. It would shut down all unessential operations, the immune system, the digestive system. All of the blood would flow into my arms and legs so that I could either fight or flee as fast as possible. It even shuts down the conscious part of the brain, and the subconscious kind of takes over, which basically screams danger, run, and our pupils dilate so we can take in more information and we can be much more acutely aware of what is happening. And but notice what I said. It shuts down non-essential bodily functions. So, digestion, non-essential when you are in fight or flight. That's really big when it comes to digestive issues. Right? The immune system also gets shut down. Why? Because if you're being chased by a bear and you have a stomach bug, what takes higher priority? Fight or flight. Muscles, you gotta fight, you gotta run, right? Digestion, not important. We can digest that food later. Immune system, hey, that stomach bug's not gonna matter if we don't get away from this bear. And it's literally that cut and dry how the body physiologically reacts to danger. Now, how does that play into it? Well, we can create the fight or flight response simply by thinking. What if I never get better? Or I have to go out. What if I have an IBS attack? What if I have whatever, a reaction to food? What if I have... And what we're doing is turning on the system that turns off our proper digestive system. So that becomes really, really key to understand this vicious cycle that can happen, because if you're afraid of what's going to happen in your gut, whether it be a food sensitivity or IBS or anything else, well, you are now creating the physiological environment where that is much, much more likely to happen. So, how do we get out of that? Look, a lot of what I talk about is figuring out how to shut down that fight or flight response, right? Soothe yourself, bring yourself down. We got to turn down the volume on our stress levels. And if we are stressing out about stress illnesses, we are literally throwing gasoline on the fire. And then we're scratching our head going, how come the fire won't go out, right? So I know I make this sound super easy. It's very easy to understand this when you have the knowledge. And what do you do about it is the challenging part. And I get it. I understand. If you are deathly afraid of going outside because you might have an IBS attack, well, I get it. But understand that it's that fear of the IBS attack that's likely going to bring it on. So now, that also leads to the question of, or the potential that getting caught in this cycle can absolutely lead you to conclude that these emotions are dangerous, right? And I get how we can come to that conclusion, right? A lot of people say, oh, when I get upset, my pain gets worse, so I can't get upset. I'm not allowed to get upset. Anger doesn't fit here, because when I get angry, oh, my back really hurts, or whatever happens, right? And so that is the dilemma that we all face. It's simply put, the belief that these emotions are bad is what got us in trouble in the first place, right? The belief that we just want to push these emotions away. We just want to avoid them at all costs. Get away, go away, I don't want to feel you. All right? Because we've been taught that certain emotions don't fit. Just like my video from a couple days ago. You know, negative emotions are like that troubled kid that your parents said, don't play with that kid. They're trouble, right? These emotions, don't feel these emotions. They're trouble, right? And we all know that to be the case. So the key here in getting better from TMS, diversion pain syndrome, distraction pain, stress illness, is to really say, those emotions are not bad. They're not bad news. They need to be felt. And the fact that I haven't felt them is why I'm in pain, or other symptoms, or IBS, or digestive issues, or whatever. The fear of digestive issues causes the digestive issues. Why? Fight or flight. Digestion gets shut down. If your digestion is shut down, what do you think happens down there? Whoosh, right? You know, it gets fouled up, basically. And so, my encouragement for anybody who is struggling with digestive issues, recognize that the stress response is likely what is causing the digestive issues. So what does that mean? It means it would behoove us to really try to cool down the stress response before we eat, before we go out, and really get into a place of comfort and safety and a true belief that by turning down the volume on the stress response, I'm literally turning up the functionality of my digestive response. And I know it sounds very simple to understand, and I can imagine it is extremely difficult to get there emotionally, to turn off the fear, to turn off that stress response. But honestly, from my perspective, I don't know everything. I'm not a doctor. This is me just observing all of these conversations. I now have the benefit of hundreds and hundreds of people commenting and providing their feedback, and along with everything I read and watch on YouTube, and the lectures and the studying I've done over the years. I don't know everything, and I'm going to make mistakes here. But from my perspective, if we truly look at the stress response and the fact that it shuts down the immune system and digestive system, then it makes perfect sense to me that the stress response is what's causing all of this stuff. So your number one goal should be to turn down that stress response. Look, adrenaline and cortisol are not going to help you feel calm. So what can you do to bring down your nervous system? Whether it be deep breathing, meditation, right? Feel your emotions, right? Hold that open house. Allow your emotions in. Allow them to pass. Decide that these emotions are not the enemy. Resisting the emotions is what's getting us into trouble. And I will say that if your fear over the symptoms is what's setting you into fight or flight, then I get it. The fear of the symptom I see how we can make that the enemy or the problem. The good news is we can choose our reaction. We can choose our focus. We can choose our thoughts. And awareness, I say this a lot, awareness, 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 that is key. Awareness is so key, because if you're not aware of the spiral that your thoughts are running you down into, it's going to be really hard to stop that, make a change into thoughts that are much more productive. I watched a video the other day on gratitude and how that changes our physiology. It creates much more of an abundance and I don't want to use the term positive because that's like positive thinking, but an abundant, warm, loving environment for ourselves to be in. So if you're not sure how to shift from negative to something, what do I shift to? Start with gratitude, right? I mean, I could look at this. It's starting to get cool now. It's in the low 60s here in Pennsylvania today, and it's just early September. And you know, I could view that as, oh no, winter's going to be here soon. You're going to see me out here in a few months in a jacket and a hat and bundled up. I'm still going to do it. I'm still coming outside. But I can view that as, oh no, I can't believe summer's over. Or, hey, change of the seasons. It's all good, right? Gratitude. I get to watch these leaves up here all change colors, and I'll show you guys that as well. So, I hope this makes sense as far as why digestive issues happen, and happen more and more as we're higher and higher stressed out, right? And so your number one goal, I believe, is to turn down that volume on the stress, turn down or turn off the fight or flight, get into the state of rest and recover, right? Soothe yourself, know you're well. Deep breathing, meditation, gratitude. These things will help turn off the fight or flight, which will return your system to a state of normal performance, which means your digestion is going to work better. And I will encourage you to take a look at times when your digestion was working better. And what was the correlation there between your stress levels? Did you ever have a time where you were just feeling really good and safe and, you know, and things were actually okay? But then when you get into this frantic, fearful, oh no state, what happens with your digestion? Start to connect the dots, because what you will see is there is an absolute connection between your stress level and your digestive malfunction, if you will. I don't believe it's a disease. I believe it is purely a response to a chronic state of fight or flight, and the digestion's been shut off so long that it's just not operating properly. It's just not working well. So look to connect those dots. Look to turn down the volume on your stress level. And then let me know if this type of stuff helps. So, love you guys and gals. Let me know what you think. Please comment below. Was this helpful for any of you with digestive problems? And look, the same thing holds true with all other symptoms as well. So this is not 100% for digestive, but that was really the topic I wanted to cover in this video. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much. Give it a like if you like it. And comment below and share if you think somebody else needs to hear this. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.